Democrats did the same thing with Ted Kennedy. Circle the wagons. Do whatever. I've always been amused at the double standard that exists. People that actually treat women with disrespect. People that actually do sexually assault women. People that treat them with profound disrespect are somehow heralded as great on women's issues and so forth. Meanwhile, trying to save the life of unborn children is called having blood on your hands. Here's the fact, though. Fact is, folks, that this election's bigger than any single candidate. It's bigger than any double standard. It's bigger than any debate point that one might try to make and win. Because this election is about saving the nation. You know, that point was driven home to me even more so today. I have a story in the stack of stuff about the class of 16. The class of 2016. Born into a world that you and I don't recognize. And they don't recognize the world we came from. They are, and there's no fault in this. It's a great story that illustrates how things change. But one thing that struck me is that the class of 2016 has no idea about the founding of this country. They have no connection to the Constitution. They don't know what it is. They haven't been taught. They have been taught other things. But the role of America in the world, the way America came to be, the whole concept of American exceptionalism, why we were a superpower, what made that happen, none of that are they aware of. And as such, they don't care. It's not something that even registers with them. Simply by virtue of when they were born and what was common. I'll find it in the stack and I'll share with you some of the details. It's quite interesting to go through. But it served to reinforce in me even more the importance of this election. And saving this country is what this election's about, and it is larger than any single candidate. And this is what Todd Akin needs to consider when he makes his decision. The calculation must be what is best for America. He's got to set that aside. Everybody who is interested in the concept, the objective of saving this country as founded has got to put every other personal concern aside, and that needs to be, number one, particularly people in politics. We just cannot lose this November. And in addition to not losing the presidential race, we must take the Senate. We must hold the House. We must win the White House. These things must happen. There is no question about it. And this is what Todd Akin needs to understand. And that's what he needs to put foremost in his mind. What I think Mr. Akin should try to realize here as he makes his decision is that all of these things that he truly cares about will be much easier to make happen if we win the Senate and the White House and hold the House this November. He must put the nation and its future ahead of everything else that he's considering. And I hope he comes to the right conclusion. Now, notice, folks, what prompted Obama to hold a so-called impromptu news conference. The Akin comment. Obama hasn't talked to the press other than People magazine or George Clooney or Entertainment Tonight in 2 months. The Akin comment prompts Obama to go to the White House press room for 22 minutes. Not the unemployment rate, not China's threats to Japan or Iran's threats to Israel, not economic misery, not the future of America. No, Akin, Todd Akin, is what prompted Barack Obama to summon the courage and the fortitude to go face his slavish White House press corps. Why in the world be afraid of your stenographers? But Barack Obama is acting scared to death of his own press corps, and they are essentially his stenographers. Mark Halpert of Time magazine said it. The press corps does whatever Obama wants. When you see the press corps whining and moaning that Obama hadn't come and spoken, it's not because they're trying to learn anything. It's not because they want news to be made. It's they want their buddy to come talk to them. They want to be validated. They're loving Obama. They love themselves some Obama. They're doing everything they can to get Obama and Biden reelected. They want some love back. They want Obama to come tell them how much he loves them and how much he appreciates them. But all he's doing is going and talking to Clooney and Entertainment Tonight and People magazine. And they're feeling a little offended. And then all of a sudden, Todd Akin goes on TV in St. Louis on Sunday and has this bumbling explanation of why he doesn't think rape should be a reason to kill babies in the womb, and all hell breaks loose, and here comes Obama to the press room. Unemployment going through the roof, Obama doesn't care. Did you see, this was the day after, I guess it was Thursday of last week, or maybe it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday of last week. Dinesh D'Souza's column, I forget where it ran. Dinesh D'Souza, I had just interviewed him for the Limbaugh Letter, the most widely read political newsletter in America. He's got his movie out. Dinesh D'Souza went over to Kenya and met with Obama's half-brother, lives in a hut, George Obama. Well, something happened. George Obama needed $1,000 for some medical emergency. He called Dinesh D'Souza. The President of the United States' brother called Dinesh D'Souza. He says George told Dinesh, you're the only guy I know I can call. His half-brother is President of the United States. His half-brother loves to run around and talk about, I am my brother's keeper, when he tries to quote the Bible. The President of the United States' own brother doesn't know how to reach him and wouldn't think to ask. And Dinesh writes about this. Obama's brother needed $1,000 to call Dinesh D'Souza. Dinesh gave him the money, and Dinesh tried to explain in a column why Obama will not help his brother. And Dinesh theorizes because his brother's not a socialist. That's what I'm summarizing it, but essentially Obama doesn't like his brother because of political differences. And that's why it doesn't help him. Who cares what the reason is? This inexplicable. And there was no reaction to this. I purposely waited all last week, all through the weekend. I wanted to find that's a bombshell of a story to me. I mean, even People magazine, I would think, get a little upset about that. The biggest socialist in the world, the guy who tried to tell us that the biggest heart cares more about anybody than anybody else ever has, Barack Obama, his own brother, doesn't even try to call him for help. He's still living in a 6 by 9 foot hut and has to call a journalist for financial assistance. And that's not a story. And it takes Todd Akin on St. Louis TV to get Obama to go meet the press for the first time in 2 months. Not the unemployment rate. Not the sad state of the U.S. economy. not the building threat of Iran or China. This is why we have to replace this man and his entire regime. This is why this election is so crucial. No news conference for 2 months, and now he holds one because he's got Akin to play off of and to further his mythical so-called war on women. Todd Akin, whatever he is and however stupid his comment, is not got a war on women going on. I don't know how it is that anybody who all they want to do is save the lives of unborn children can be said to have blood on his hands. When there are other people in our society, in our country, in our leadership, who literally do have the blood of others on their hands by virtue of their policies. So this is crucial. And Todd Akin has got to realize that whatever he thinks is the number one thing he should fight for here, above all, and above anything that's personal to any one person, is saving this country, and that means winning the Senate and winning the election against Obama. That's what he has to realize. And I hope he makes the right decision. And we'll take a brief time out and continue after this on the one and only EIB Network.